Representative McNamara talked about that the feds are supposedly going to give us $100 billion or 100 million. Anyway, it doesn't matter if the feds are giving it to us. It's all coming out of your pocket. Whether the state pays or the feds pay, it comes out of your money. This is not magic money that, oh, the feds are paying. No, you, the taxpayer, are paying. Let's see here. I believe you had said about being able to cost on or pass on costs to people. Your businesses are either going to have to soak it up or they're going to have to cut bodies. The Affordable Care Act is going to do that. It's going to also cut bodies from the workplace. Manufacturing is going to be hit too. You're already struggling to put people into your places of business so that you can do the work that you need to do. You need to grow and expand. This program isn't going to help you out. Let's see. Oh, and then they need people. They need people to go into these exchanges. They need healthy people in order to make it work. So you know what the government is doing? Now they're spending money on outreach. Outreach. If you go into the libraries, I don't know if Douglas County has it yet, but we're going to have people sitting in the libraries trying to reach people to sign up for Mid-Shore. You know why the libraries? Because poor people supposedly will be going to the libraries to use the internet, and that's the best way to reach them. Not at the clinic when they're sick, when they're needing health care coverage. No, at the library and other public places. Can you imagine if you're sick and you're needing health insurance, first thing you're going to go, I better go to the library and sign up for some health care. And remember, this whole program has nothing to do with getting you healthy. This is all about control. The same federal government, or the federal agency, the IRS, that's in a lot of trouble right now, is the same government agency that is going to be making sure that you have health care, that you have health coverage, because you're going to be paying a penalty, and the IRS is going to have every detail of your life, your personal, private history, they will have access to. If they can't be honest with your tax information already, what makes you think that they are going to be honest with your health information?
Does anybody else have, yes, questions?
Thanks for your passion on that. That was quite enlightening.
Sorry.
With manufacturing jobs accounting for 13% of jobs in Minnesota, and for every manufacturing job, it supports 1.9 other jobs. What can you do as legislators to specifically help improve state manufacturers' position in Minnesota?
Sure.
I'll go first. I'm on roll. In the 2011 Republican budget, we provided economic development funding while eliminating the $6.2 billion deficit. And I think that as conservatives, let me take this back. It was for a long time, the Democrat Party was the party of the poor and the working class. Over the years, that ideology has shifted dramatically. Now there's a war on success. So if you are a successful individual, you are now evil because you have done something with your life and you have achieved whatever it is you want to do. And if part of that achievement is making quite a bit of money and you're successful at making money, that is now horrible. Now they want to, as Keith Ellingson had, what did he just say recently? He said something horrible. Now I can't remember. But anyway, basically, he wants to be able to limit the money that is made at the top and disperse it throughout the other workers. Okay, socialism. Manufacturing is extremely important in this area, and so for us, what we need to do is put more money into.
Do you remember her name? Miss Shelley. And do you remember what Miss Shelley was doing right here? What is she teaching us?
After her colleague took field experience to the training room.
Hey, would you point to the one that you wanted?
Children used balls for balance.
Are we hearing things?
Exercise. Another day.
Okay, anyway, so putting more money into our tech programs.
Said we can make
High schools getting involved with making manufacturing look like an exciting job. Still the mindset.
They investigate to test their predictions.
Now what? Okay, I got the point.
Well, your kids are good at programming. Tapped right into the, no, somebody goofed on there, whoever. But I thought, wow, your kids are good at programming. They tapped right into the.
Getting into our high schools and bringing programs and having children see, our students seeing that it's not, manufacturing is no longer standing on a line and sitting there counting widgets. This is an exciting job. And I keep telling our tech school here too that we need to market more to women because there is a lack of women in that workplace. And for...
Thank you. Thank you.
Kind of to piggyback on what Tom was saying, you know, this group represents manufacturers throughout the area, and Alex Tech School missing out on this $30 million is pretty disappointing to hear. But I understand, you know, it's buried in a bill that has other undesirable aspects.
And it also was not a bonding year.
Okay.
It's not a bonding year. That's
Okay.
next year.
Sure. I think Minnesota already has some unique tax challenges for business owners. And at the same time, the skills gap and shortage of qualified employees or workers, I mean, continues to challenge companies that want to grow in Minnesota. What can we do to help maybe move some of the funding for tech ed to the forefront of these bills, to the front of the docket, so that these things can stand alone? And I just don't feel that they're as important as they could be.
I'd like to make a comment to that. When we do have hearings at the Capitol, we get a lot of companies from the metro because it's easily accessible. They can just take a half hour and go down to the Capitol. What we need to hear from are more greater Minnesota companies coming down to the Capitol, testifying on bills. The capital, upfront capital exemption, sales tax exemption. I let our manufacturers know that this bill was coming up to come down to a hearing, but because it was over 2 hours away, they were unable to take time off of work when the hearing came up to go down and testify. But hearing from Greater Minnesota is going to be even more crucial as the years go on. I've spoken. I was just up at Lund and did a tour of Lund. Senator Ingebretson and I did. And they too are having a major issue finding qualified workers. One of our detriments right now in this country is unextended employment. People are going into businesses, filling out their applications, but putting down hours where they know they cannot work and that the company cannot work with them. Why is that? Because it counts as job seeking. So as long as they're job seeking, they can continue getting unemployment benefits. However, what it's doing to our businesses is not getting people into their place in order to work. And they're not getting the qualified people also. Yes.
I don't want those big things.
But that's why they're doing it, so that they can continue to stay on unemployment. That is a huge issue here in Greater Minnesota when you do need a workforce.
Right now, our unemployment in this area is running right just a little bit north of 5%.
But they're not going into manufacturing.
No, I get that. And what was said is that, incorrectly so, is that for every manufacturer job, we're creating almost 2 other jobs. Because if you're not creating something, you can't buy the service. Now, another thing that's happening in the outstate area is we do have an aging workforce. Is there something that could be done to help promote the area for younger families to move to? Because not all of the good jobs are in the metro area, but that's the mindset of most new families. Any thoughts on helping with the demographic shift that we're seeing so we do continue to take and grow good jobs here in West Central Minnesota?
I think that's kind of the chicken or the egg, which, for the young people to come back here, there have to be jobs. And, so if there's jobs going wanting, maybe you folks have to get that word out better that there's jobs up here available, good paying jobs, family jobs. And I would just add that on the education piece, the pendulum swings. And when I first got down to St. Paul, the real push was to have every young person go to college and get a 4-year degree, a grad standard.